Sound of it, ding them! Sound of it, ding them!
Every man has his techniques, and they're all different. And when you know mine, you'll be dead.
If you have a goal in mind, and you were an advanced incarnation that came back down here to be at a period of time and learn a certain amount of discipline that you can help your people. And 98% of everybody in here is that type of person. How many people in here want to know knowledge? First of all, raise your hand. How many people are interested in knowledge? If you're interested in knowledge and you love knowledge, for the simple fact, 10, 15 years ago, we would have had to been out partying somewhere or in some church somewhere. For the mere fact you're sitting up in a damn classroom on Saturday night lets you know that you are an advanced soul. Because if you weren't an advanced soul, there's no way that you would accept this. You would reject this just like the average black person. So you agreed to come back in the future and help your people. What is happening, because now you have been sunk into slavery, or you have actually lost your mind and you now just regain your memory. What is actually happening here is this. You had a contract that you needed to doggone fulfill, and you're obligated to fulfill that contract. So now what has happened is your higher spirit is the one that incarnated back down here. So let's say your higher self or your true self have a goal in mind. They want you basically to understand a certain amount of knowledge that is key for itself to wake up. Your soul wants you to understand a certain amount of knowledge that is key for your soul to wake up. But yet you have other agendas. And all of a sudden, when you find these other agendas, no matter how hard you try, they seem to fail over and over and over again. You will understand that your own energy, your inward energy, is making a hostile environment around you because it wants you to liberate it by giving it the keys and the nourishment that can make it grow and illuminate. You get this? So what will happen is it will actually reject the physical body. And so everything around you will repel from you. You see? And you won't understand what is happening, why your job, why all this, and why all this is, and why I can't seem to do this, and why I'm a failure, and all of this. And you can't understand what the hell is going on. It is going on for the simple fact that your spirit's saying, I don't want that shit. I've been down here enough far through many incarnations for the bullshit. So I just don't want another life. I came back down here to do a certain job. So until this damn nigga finds out, we'll both have problems to the point where as I will even bring him down to death so I can get the hell out of the body and just be a force myself. So this is what's actually happening right now. Why, as I guarantee you right now, most people that came into some type of consciousness, you're having money problems. That's guaranteed. Also, you got to understand some of the other people who seem to do all right is the most dead. You see what I'm saying? You got some people that ain't about shit, but they don't never suffer about nothing. About like the white man. And some black people. That is because their souls are still too young, especially black people. We're talking about us now. Their souls are still very young. And at this particular time, by their souls being very young, they are still intrigued with this bullshit because they haven't gone through it enough. So they ain't intrigued with all the physical bull out there because they haven't been here long enough. But you are, hopefully it's supposed to be you, no matter how much wealth you get, something is still wrong. Something is still not pleasing. And that is because don't negate your contract of what you're supposed to be doing at this particular time. And now the energy is actually rising up to take care of that and all. And we will deal with some, as we go on, we will deal with what is some form of mental alchemy to try to understand what is actually going on. Now, another thing, if you get there's a book that everyone needs to be reading right now and using. There's several books. First of all, the one book is called Phil Cooper book. Phil Cooper's book. And the name of that book is called The Magician. magician, Phil Cooper. Everyone should get a copy of that book. Because there's a lot of magical books out, but they're very advanced, and sometimes they have a whole lot of intellectual stuff that by the time you get through the whole book, you don't even know what the hell is going on. And some of them, they write for people in the order of the occult, so they want the masses of people not to really tap into it, but they actually need the money to sustain whatever occult they're in. So therefore, they put out this particular material just to get money so they can do their job. But this particular book is one of those books that's cut and dry. It's called the Studies in Effective Magic, but it's called The Magician. And in that book, I think I mentioned it the last time, in that book it talks about you can't do anything, even on the physical plane, that's going to be convincing to you until you convince your subconscious that it is reality. Now, case in point, I got a friend, rejected knowledge for years. He just rejected this shit, didn't want to hear this thing, America's all right, and all this. For years. So about 9 years later, recently, in about last year, the brother had another brother that a sister put roots on. And as a result, he understood that something that was going on that was miraculous because he grew up around it. So immediately he called me and said, you got a ritual, we can do this. I said, okay, fine. Anytime somebody calls, okay, fine. I gave him this ritual guaranteed to work, but the ritual didn't work. Well, first of all, the ritual didn't work because his own energy was going to be the energy that would cure the brother. You see? So therefore, because he didn't believe it, he was just getting the shit just in case. I'm getting the ritual just in case. And because he did not believe it, it didn't work. You see what I'm saying? Because his subconscious was the same old Negro. Until you convince your subconscious what's going on, it doesn't work. In this particular book, Phil Cooper's book, Effective Magic, is a very good book that you need to understand. Another book is Aleister Crowley's 777 and Other Kabbalistic Writings. 777 and Other Kabbalistic Writings. The book will throw you off because the first form of the book is breaking down the advanced Kabbalistic structure in how this particular Kabbalistic or the Kabbalah actually works. But the point that you want to get is you want to turn the book until you actually see on a page by itself 777. And you will see something called, you want to turn to the book until you see what is called the tables of correspondence. And it has every element in the universe, the gods, the stones, the zodiac broken down on number. And from those numbers you can line up things to understand more about yourself on a numerical value. As a matter of fact, Richard King used the book also when he wrote African Origins of Biological Psychiatry to explain melanin. That was one of the books Richard King used. In that book, at the back of the book, they have a whole bunch of numbers, and if you know how to tap into them right, you can hit the lottery. But then again, on another hand, it ain't time for that shit now, so therefore you might not be successful with it. But on the other hand, what is also happening is there's a part in that particular book, there's a part in that book that has numbers. And the number 209, which was supposed to be Proposition 209, which is the affirmative action type thing that they cutting out and telling all these niggas that you through with this Proposition 209. We looked it up and it first said it was to reward a people. Which was what? 1964, 1965 Civil Rights Act. So the first one was to reward a people. The second one, it said to take away from a people. So we understand that the government was dealing with the esoteric knowledge in which they do, because they have all our information, when they would give a certain reward to us. That reward also, when it said 209, it said to reward, but it also said to take away. We understand that how how certain things go about and how they use certain things in the occult realm. But that particular book is a very interesting book that you actually need to get and to line up certain amount.
Every man has his techniques, and they're all different. And when you know mine, you'll be dead.
Sound of it, ding them! Sound of it, ding them!